Hi, my name is Mark Bernard. I'm a monetary economist. Fortress America, baby. Okay, what am I talking about? You've got something called the Maginot Line. This was in the interwar period between World War I and World War II, which the French developed to prevent an invasion of France. And what it did is they were these huge fortresses between France and Germany. And they were very sophisticated. They had their own coolant systems. They had these elevators, multiple bunks. They were actually a pretty good design all along the Franco-German border. But the Germans in World War II, what they did is they went through Belgium in the Ardennes forest and went around it. They did an N loop. And my claim is that the Americans want to build something called the Golden Dome missile defense system. Golden Dome, it has the word gold. I know the president likes the word gold, like he's selling these golden tickets for U.S. citizenship, maybe. And it has this like quasi-religious symbolism. Israel, the Iron Dome, this time the Golden Dome. And Americans, I'm an American and I know the way Americans think. They think this way. They think they are going to hunker down, just like when you hear severe weather report, catastrophic storm 5, storm of the century. What they'll do is they'll turn on the tube or whatever they watch and just watch it for 3 days constantly. And they feel safe, hunkered down. Maybe they even stock some supplies. This is the American mentality, Fortress America to some extent in the current administration. So if they can just get the money to build this Golden Dome missile defense, Americans don't have to worry. You just follow their leader. Follow the leader and everything's going to be okay. Newsflash, nobody can predict the future. 2, the world is very dynamic. 3, and with a lot of sub-dynamic nuances. And 3, you can't trust the Russians. So the Russians are developing something like, I'll just use it for the algorithm, something like a 12 monkeys experiment. Watch the movie 12 Monkeys or look it up and understand what I'm saying. This is Sergiev Posad-6. Sergiev Posad-6. Sergio Posad-6. It's a place in Russia that they're doing 12 monkey type experiments. And this is it. This is an asymmetrical, undetectable method of deployment. And no missile defense system focused on uranium type weapons are going to be able to stop this, especially if all the Russians or the elite have, by the time it waves through in 12 Monkeys. Remember, Brad Pitt couldn't even stop it in 12 Monkeys. He was running through the airport trying to stop, that vial and stop all these things from unfolding, but he couldn't, right? Why couldn't he? Because these are asymmetrical vectors. So when Americans take a very aggressive posture and snub our friends and geopolitical neighbors around the world and saying, we're going to build a fortress, man, we're going to build a dome. Well, newsflash, when in chess, when white does something, black does something else. And in the Kremlin, they're not thinking, oh, this is our warm friends now, even though Washington may think these are our warm friends now. They're thinking something else. They're thinking Alexander Durgin. Oh, but his book only outlined the neutralization of Poland and Eastern Europe, etc. No, the Russian state media claimed there are no boundaries to Russia. They want full world domination. And if you don't believe me, in 2024, the last time the State Department was really collecting data, okay, because the current administration has kind of put a pause on that for Russia, check out Sergiev Posad-6 and what that's about, okay? You can't argue, yield to the logic of the situation. This is the Maginot Line they want to create, Fortress America. Everybody's going to hunker down. It's almost like, Americans that are really pumped supporting this current administration are almost like football fans or people watching catastrophic weather. And they're just like, you can't touch us, man. We're hunkered down. Okay. That is untrue. That is very deceptive thinking. And so if you haven't seen 12 Monkeys, I recommend it. Is better might be just, work with the geopolitical allies around the world in a coordinated effort. Professor Tim Wilson has said that private companies are now in Russia supplying intelligence to Russia. You can check his video. I don't want to misquote him. And he's a professor. He's a full professor. And we've stopped it to our allies. So if If Washington thinks they can now cooperate in some indirect way and be really clever with Moscow and create some defense system, they don't understand anything about the Russian world and who the Russians are. So this Golden Dome is no. Americans need to wake up. I'm an American. If you love your country, you have to realize that the leader in Washington is not one of the sharper tools in the shed, not leading America to any kind of greatness, but leading it down a path which we may not be able to come back from or snap back from or defend ourselves from. All the conventional weapons, including the uranium weapons, is like the Maginot Line in World War II. Is that going to help? Did that help the French? Okay. This is the way the world works. I'm an econometrician, and as many models as I create, the more I realize how you can predict the future. Nobody can. Too many exogenous variables. The ebbs and currents of the future are too many nuanced subdirections. And as much as I isolate a variable, maybe at a microeconomic micro level, I can predict something basic like maybe the price of potatoes, but not on a large-scale geopolitical event. And I would not put our whole bankroll of the United States into thinking we're going to be okay, because, we're not. We have to play chess. It's not just what white does, it's what black does. You have to be not only a tactical thinker, but also a strategic thinker. You have to work with your allies and friends if we want to make the world a better place. If you want real security, security is in unity of friendship and common ideals and shared ideals. That's Ronald Reagan, right? That's the founding fathers. That's any of the philosophers I love to quote, making the world a better place. And I've quoted them ad nauseum to you. So again, my claim is the U.S. is creating Fortress America, which is a Maginot Line, which will give Americans following the leader in Washington a false sense of security. But this is an illusion. It's an illusionary sense of security. And when the veil is lifted, Americans will be like, whoops, what do we do now? And the enemy is despotism and the Kremlin. And it's not to be trusted. My only plea is that Washington take a 180-degree reversal, start working with our friends and allies again, making the world a better place. And this only America idea is not only America, it's America's destruction. So enough of that. Have a beautiful day. If you don't believe me, go out into the woods and walk today and meditate on what I thought. Don't go checking the internet. Well, yeah, go check the internet. Look up Sergiev Posad-6, and look up 12 Monkeys. Connect the dots. My name is Mark Biernat. I'm a monetary economist. Have a beautiful day. Thank you very much.